We have arrived, we have the tickets, we are about to go and see Backrooms, so we obviously won't be recording in the cinema, but when we clap our hands, we will be back here and we would have watched Backrooms.
So
Ready?
excited. I'm so ready.
3, 2, 1. Well, fuck, there we go.
We did it.
Just watched it. It was intense, it was great, we really enjoyed it. Initial thoughts right now, we really loved that it kind of like didn't go too far beyond what the series was doing. It didn't feel like you'd be completely out of your depth or lost if you had gone straight into this without having watched the series. We really glad that was like that because yeah, I think it introduces a whole new set of people. It makes it easier for other people to come into this, into the series, into just Backrooms in general, and it sets it up for a franchise.
That's very true.
I really like the fact that it's an extension on the series, but it's also kind of its own thing. That having watched the series now, it was just really good to have that extra information.
And Ooh.
No, you go. I've just been rambling.
I was going to say that it was so surreal being in the back rooms in a huge cinema.
Yes.
We've just been staring at a tiny laptop for weeks now, and that shit's kind of really scary when you can't look away from it at all.
Yeah, it was so weird seeing it not from the perspective of a found footage camera, the point of view shot. It was just seeing the actors walking around in there. Yeah, it was crazy. Really enjoyed it. We'll go more in depth in the review part of this, so we shall hand over to review Poppy and Sam right now. So it is now the next day. We have spent the night discussing it, we've slept on it, we've been considering what we've seen, and now it's time to talk about it.
We're going to start off by saying we absolutely loved this film. It was really, really good, and it was so awesome to see it in the cinema.
Yeah, unmatched. You can't beat the big screen experience, especially when we've been sat watching the laptop and the series through that. It was absolutely surreal seeing this on the big screen, so that's a huge positive straight off the bat. So we've had, like I said, a discussion. We've written down in our notes and bullet points of our favourite things, and we're just going to sort of list. Not necessarily list, but go through the things that we really liked about it. And firstly, the plot was really intriguing. They created some really good characters, the story was good, and it's kind of felt like a more extended version of a found footage episode. So we just had our characters, we had where they are, we had their discovery of the threshold, and then going into the backrooms and their relationship with it. And we thought it was so captivating and intriguing.
Yes.
That it was just, essentially seeing one of the episodes from the web series just on the big screen, fleshed out, high budget, and just, it was really, really cool.
The thing it had different to the found footage is that we actually got to know these characters a bit better. So it's really awesome that it's they're holding the camera and they're going through them in the YouTube series. But what I really enjoyed was being able to see Kane's creativity with having the actual characters and letting them be people with real lives outside of the back rooms that kind of get shoved around by the back rooms. And it was just so awesome that with the real set, it just made the film feel so real.
Yeah, like you said, because I know at the start of found footage, we do get a little bit of backstory to people. We get a little bit of their lives, but obviously it's not as important as the Backrooms content. But sometimes it is makes things feel even more dramatic, and you can be connected with it even more when we know more about these characters beforehand. And yes, the characters were so fleshed out. They were such, real people.
Yeah.
And it was easy to enter the backrooms through their perspective. We've watched the series, we all understand what the Backrooms is, well, to a certain extent, and we're getting to witness these people who are just discovering it for the first time, and when we know their backstory, we know their history, it just feels, you feel even more attached to it.
Yeah, I think Renee's character was my favourite. She was playing, I think it was Mary Klein. And she's like a therapist, but she's also got a lot to her in terms of her childhood with her mother and like clear trauma that we had so many debates afterwards of like, what does it all mean? It's so fascinating.
Yeah, it was like one of our like one things that we wanted different was just that we just want more of like her character. Because she was so intriguing, the flashbacks, the creativity of those flashbacks as well was so cool that, just really wanted to see more from her character, more like learn more about her history and stuff. Because we got like a peek behind the curtain, but I want to like pull them back and properly observe like that, and that just shows how good the character development, the character creation, how fleshed out they were. It just shows how good that was, that we're so intrigued by these people and want to learn more.
This film also had perfect tension and perfect pacing for a horror film. We were discussing the fact that it was it was a perfect blend of a feature film and a found footage film. And like the mashup was great. Like I said, the pacing was really cool. It didn't ever feel like it was dropping off. If anything, it was like doing that steady thing where there were horrible peaks that made you like panic, but in the best way. But the overall story was just very, very steady, very like moving forward.
They took their time with it. They allowed the first time he enters the Backrooms in the film, it allows them to explore, have a look around. How many episodes of the Backrooms series are just them literally looking around when nothing really happens in these rooms, but it's still entertaining because the curiosity's there. You're peering around the corners with the character. You're observing everything in the room the same way the character is. And I'm so glad they allowed that with the pacing.
Yeah.
They allowed us to have him just exploring the Backrooms for a while, and then each of them as they went in, it was like shooting it from the perspective of someone who's just entered for the first time.
That was awesome, yeah.
Yeah, so like the pacing was really good, and Poppy mentioned the practical set. It's fucking awesome. Like it's so
cool.
So cool that like they built this set practically, and that leads on to something I wanted to say about the difference between the series and this film was that Kane was allowed to use his imagination and creativity even more with this budget and with the practical set, with these actors, that every time we've seen the Backrooms, it's either through like found footage perspective or still kind of found footage perspective with like the async employees going in with a camcorder. That's the only perspective we get to see. But in this, we got like the third person perspective. We got Kane being able to have these actors in this practical set, and he was able to use his creativity to shoot them in certain ways. And that was I remember sitting there in the cinema going, oh shit, we've not seen this before. Like this is new, having like the outside perspective, the fourth wall kind of thing of like we're watching the actors walk around in there as opposed to watching through their like found footage perspective. And that allowed him to do so many cool shots. There were so many fun like when he's looking through the little tunnel part and then the camera's in the like middle of it, and then it starts tracking backwards, showing how daunting and mysterious this like empty space was. The idea of like the shooting through the walls and the symmetry and the shots of him like standing up and looking around. We haven't been able to see shots like that, so it was so cool to get to see how Kane basically shoots a high budget project like this. And he did such a good job with that.
It was really cool having the 4 different people going into the Backrooms because they all had a different reaction to being in there. So you had Clark, the main character. He's very, very shaken at the start, but he immediately is like curiosity over anything else and kind of a little bit of greed and desperation, almost.
No, I agree.
And then you've got like the two, like the employee and her boyfriend, and she's very much, this feels wrong. And then he's just like trying to act like it's cool and whatever. And then you've got Renee. She just seemed like shell-shocked the whole time.
It was almost like...
really cool.
His was just shocking curiosity, Clark's was. Yeah, and then you had the two employed, the boyfriend and girlfriend. His perspective was kind of humour. shocked humour at the like situation, obviously, until it got bad. And hers was very much like just fear, like fear-based. The kind of horror, like the kind of reaction in horrors that you think everyone should have. Like they're just, nope, I don't want any part of this, I'm leaving.
The audience surrogate, I guess.
Yeah.
With that one.
And then, like Renee's character, Mary, she's coming from a place of disbelief of Clark had explained all this to her, but
Yeah.
Could she really have believed him just through him explaining it? And then when she realizes that this isn't just some sort of delusion, this is genuinely real, and like everything he said must be like playing back in her head in that moment of like, holy shit, this is real.
Yeah.
So good.
I can't believe we have not spoken about it yet, but I love that we got more of the still life in this film.
Oh,
and the
crazy.
design of these people is so cool. Horrible, but really, really cool. Like, with like the free eyes, like the uncanny valley kind of vibe. Really eerie, and just the way that some of them just stand, like completely emotionless. God.
It's the most
Perfect.
the most we have been able to see them in so much detail.
Yeah.
The idea of them being a copy of a copy and stuff of these people in this, I really like the way that they portrayed that, like the representing the real world stuff and then the copies of it within the Backrooms.
Yes.
Yeah, so fucking
amazing.
terrifying. Yeah, like you'll probably think that I was jumping the most in that film, but it was actually Poppy. When I'm in public at a cinema, I'm like trying to lock in and not jump because I don't want to look stupid in front of everyone. But Poppy, she was leaping about in that seat.
I literally, in the first 10 minutes of the film, when it's just, you've got the person at the start who's like doing a found footage thing, and he rounds the corner and there's like a creature, right? I literally go like that. And then I just sat there, I just shrunk in my seat.
Honestly, and
I got really scared.
The scene at the end.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of tall things. I mean, my thing normally is like big cars, big boats, vehicles and stuff, right?
Did you know?
But there is something about that pirate like that with like the bulging eyes and the running. I was making little noises, like like really like.
Like I thought you were genuinely like uncomfortable in the seat and just like wanting to leave for some reason, and then I think I clocked it. I was like, oh, she hates this right now, because I already know that you hate like the chasing scenes.
I do.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's any creatures that's done it like that to me before. I guess Slender Man when I was a kid, but this was way worse than Slender Man.
Alien Romulus was pretty intense.
That's true.
It's the same guy inside that practical thing.
I wouldn't want him running at me. I think I'd cry.
But yeah, it's awesome that they did him like practically and everything. It had an actual guy dressed up in practical effects. It's so cool that they did that.
That with the music throughout this film, like the music is he's like running specifically, but we were saying, oh my God, like it's so great hearing some of these songs that we recognized from the series, but also like they upped it. So much.
They had
for
like
the
an
cinema.
extension on top of that music.
And that music was so cool. Like I would listen to that soundtrack.
Yeah, the music, the way he shot it. I said to Poppy that it reminded me of, I don't know if you've seen Barbarian, the film from a couple of years ago. The way that the flashback scenes were shot in that with the guy when he was, doing all of the dodgy shit. Obviously, I don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen it, but like when we went back in time to showcase the neighborhood, how it was back then, the way it was so like saturated, vibrant, the blue skies, it almost felt very surreal. It didn't feel real. The way that Kane shot this had that same sort of vibe, and I don't know why, but it makes the 90s element feel so real.
It really pops.
It really matches that vibe, and it's kind of like, it feels like a fake town, but in the best way. Do you know what I mean? Like the saturation, the vibrancy of the blue sky with the way he shot, like people with the low angles, like upwards, like the homeless man looking through the thing.
It's kind of like an idea of a dream world.
It reminded me a lot of Barbarian, and I loved the way Barbarian was shot. It's one of my favourite recent horror films.
Do you think Kane kind of plays on the Backrooms, but with the aesthetic of the whole world he builds? In the sense of, like, it's not just the Backrooms that are, like, trying to remember and recall what things are, but it feels slightly off. But the world itself feels kind of off. So, like, the dreamy colours and, like, the stuff feeling a little bit fake could be a play on that. Almost.
Yeah, definitely. It's creating that unsettling feeling.
Yeah.
And when you've already got the audience unsettled in the real world, when he shows the Backrooms, it's going to make you even more, like, yeah, it's going to affect you even more. You're going to feel very uncomfortable.
I know we said about it in the trailer, but that shot of Mary going through to the Backrooms the first time is still one of my favourite shots.
With the music and the sound effects they added.
Yeah.
So cool how they use the sound design to help with that. So we've obviously gone through a lot of like the technical elements and the specificities of the film itself. But as a whole, as you know, this is Kane's new like project. This is his newest addition to the Backrooms series. We understand, I think we've heard a few people say they were a little bit disappointed by this. And so we wanted to touch on that very briefly now, just to say, I understand why some people may be disappointed by this. We've obviously come in from the perspective of, we've watched the series, we've watched it with you guys, and it's been fucking great. But we are still very new to the Backrooms in general. Like, yes, we've watched all the series, but everything's been fresh. Everything's been new for us recently. And we'd understand because some of you guys are like hardcore fans. You've been helping us along the way. You've been like feeding us the information. And it's been so great. And you guys have probably been in this for years. You want more. Like, you want more lore. You want more answers to questions. You know, you just want this to be like something, an addition on top of everything else. And I can understand the frustration because they made it very palatable for a new audience. They've made it so that it's accessible to everyone. And I understand why some people would get like annoyed. Or not annoyed, but slightly disappointed that there's not loads of new revelations. Obviously, let us know if like we're missing any big new things that like we haven't mentioned in here, because obviously we're not as familiar with names and everything still. So if there were name drops, we probably missed it. But I quite like the idea of it being very accessible to everyone, because realistically, this is like big scale stuff now. A24 cinema release. It's done really well at the box office. A24 would have told Kane that he like would have to make it accessible to a whole range of audiences, because there's horror fans out there, and they are going to be intrigued by the Backrooms. They're going to be intrigued by the trailer. It's got some big actors in it. It's A24. This is going to spark curiosity. People are going to go to the cinema to watch this. We can't have those people lost. If they've not seen the series, we don't want these people to feel alienated. We don't want these people to feel like, well, I'm so lost. Like, what does any of this mean? So I understand that he did it in a way where it was still adding new stuff, and there was still stuff that I was paying paying respect to the stuff that we've seen before. Like, was little things that we can point out, being like, oh, cool, that's from like fan footage 3, or that's from this part. So that was really awesome. But I like the fact that it felt like anyone could come in and learn to love the Backrooms through this project. People could come into this, follow the story, be intrigued enough to go back and watch the web series the same way we did. Like, it's I like that, because now it feels like with this edition, it feels like we can build on that even more. This feels like it's sequel territory. It feels like it could be a franchise. Like we said, we wanted to see more from Mary's character because she's so like intriguing. And yeah, this very much feels like we can go off into franchise territory with this. So I quite like that this film felt accessible. It didn't go too intensely like different and adding on top of everything from the series, basically saying, if you haven't watched the series, you're going to be lost in this film, because this is just an addition to that. They made it its own thing. And I think it's the smartest way to do it, because it's going to bring in a whole new audience, a whole load of new people to pay respect and like to love the stuff that Kane's done. Because obviously this came from like a
It came from
an
a
idea.
still.
From a still, from one little idea, and people have built on that over the years. And Kane's obviously taken that and brought his own lore into it, took his creativity, his imagination, and created this Backrooms project.
Yeah.
And then this is just the extension on top of that. So it's really cool that people can come in now and have a new project to basically get into the Backrooms from. And as we know from watching it, there's a whole load of stuff out there that you can watch if you're really intrigued by the Backrooms. I
really love that he included the async in this film, but he didn't linger too much, because I understand that some people would be like, oh, who are these people?
Yeah.
And like some people have even said like that it, as an outsider, they felt really confused by the science and kind of the explanations. And I'm like, well, yeah, I guess if you haven't watched the series, it can really throw you off. You want the mystery, but I think the mystery is still there, still very prevalent, even with the async being like in charge of the Backrooms, because no one's got full control over that thing.
Well, that happens with horror films, don't you? You come up with your own theories as you're watching it.
Yeah.
And yeah, from people that haven't seen anything to do with the Backrooms, we have seen a few people say that they were disappointed with the ending because they didn't want it to be like answered that much. But obviously we were so happy when async appeared. We were like, oh my god, look, there's the room for the threshold and everything.
When he was having his popcorn and he saw him on the screen and he remembered him from being in the Backrooms, the scientist. That was a really cool like little play on for just the fans in that moment, because no one else knows what's going on then.
So I feel like that ending was very good for people that are fans of the Backrooms already. Yeah. But for people that were not fans or didn't know anything about it, I could see why they were like coming up with their own theories throughout, and then maybe were left a little bit like, oh, why did they have to do that? Leave it a little bit more ambiguous at the end. But obviously we really loved the ending.
That was our review of the film. We loved it so much, as you can probably tell. But one thing we really want, if you've got this far into the video, thank you by the way, is to just comment down below like your favourite parts of the film, anything you didn't sit well with you, just anything you want to chat about with us. We have really missed talking about the Backrooms. I feel like it's been a couple days now, maybe even a week. And it would just be really nice to just all come together and just chat about them in the comments. So yeah, go down below with anything you want to say and we will respond to you.
Well, thank you so much for watching this video. As I can see on the camera right now, we have been talking for over 20 minutes about this. It was natural. We're going to. We've sat and watched this whole series with you guys. We want to talk about it. We want to give a lot of our like evaluation and what we thought about it, so that you guys can, like Poppy said, give it back to us. Tell us your thoughts. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Join our little community we got going on here. And yeah, see you in the next one.